Assalamu alaikum boys. Hope you people are fine. Okay, we have gathered here to take up our next lesson, and that is what is language and what is language learning. So let's start with today's lecture, that is regarding language, right? And what are the skills that are needed to learn any language, right? Whether it is from the lower ages or from the very initial stage, or it is from some grown-up later age, right? So students, let's start. Today's lesson is regarding the 4 language skills, right? So these are, firstly, listening. I would take them as with the natural process, right? Secondly, with the speaking, as the boy or the girl or the man, right, is going to learn a language at an early age, he is first of all going to have some input through his listening, right? So listening provides him a sufficient amount or level of the words, vocabulary, phrases, and sentences, right? When he can process those words, phrases, and sentences, right, and think about them, he starts speaking, right? So speaking is also a process where there are 4 or 5 things involved, but we are not concerned here. We will take up them in separate exclusive lecture, right? So second comes speaking, third becomes the reading, right? When after sufficient level of intellectuality, whatever he has now developed, right, at home, he is sent to a school where he learns reading, right? So it can also be a process at home, but a formal level of reading or the formal practice of reading starts from school when he is admitted, right? After that, when all these things, they have contributed him to develop mentally, he is now exposed to writing. So writing becomes the 4th skill, right? So here I must quote Francis Bacon's statement, right? That is regarding reading, speaking, and writing. So he says in his book Essays of Studies, right? What is reading? Make the full man. Right? Conference. Conference, reading man. And writing and exact man. So first of all, reading. So reading makes a full man. Sorry, I have missed with reading make a full man. Conference or ready man, and writing an exact man, right? So there is great wisdom in this statement, right? So whenever we we are going to talk about reading, speaking, and writing, we are actually referring to a person who has sufficient command or grip over the use of language, right? Now, let's come to the classification of these two, listening and reading. What are these terms or these skills called as? These are the receptive skills, right? The receptive skills are, another modern term we can say, the input, right? They provide us with an input, right, of both the words and the vocabulary items, right? Now, these are speaking and writing, the productive skills, right? Through reading, through listening and reading, we come to the production of our speech and our writing. So, certain amount of intellectuality or certain mastery is required to specially produce this, right, writing skill. As Bacon says, reading make a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. So, reading makes a full man. If a person is having a habit of reading, a reading habit, he is a full man because he is enriching his mind, his thought, and his opinion is going to be matured through reading, right? Now, after that, conference a ready man. When we are going to discuss some certain topics or issues to other people, that lead us towards reading. So, whenever we have to then talk on certain topic, we must have some input, some background information regarding that topic. So, reading provides us with that, and we are successful in our conversation when we have an ample amount of correct information, right? And writing an exact man, whenever we have learned through the books whatever we have discussed, so we are going to write it down, and that will be our creation, that will be our production of the text, right? That will convey something, that will convey something, and that will contain something valuable. Whatever we have learned, whatever we have developed through our reading and our conversation in speaking, right? So, listening is a very, very important skill because it initiates the process of the language learning. Now, let's do another classification of these listening and speaking and reading and writing. So, firstly, let's discuss with these reading and writing. So, reading and writing skills, students, are mostly associated with the educated or some literate person, right? Because an illiterate person cannot read any sort of text, right? And he cannot write even anything, right? So, these skills are generally termed to be with the educated or advanced people or advanced level skills, right? So, these are listening and speaking, these are attached to people in general. Every human being from any region or any geographical background or any social background, he can use these two skills, listening and speaking. So, people in general can also use these two skills, right? So, they are uneducated or illiterate, right? They can also use this one. So, this term, this statement of Francis Bacon right, provides very wisdom, and it makes us to develop or shape or all these skills if we are going to learn a language successfully and with skill and mastery, right? So students, today we have discussed what is language, right? It is a medium of conveying our thoughts to other people, our views to other people, and they respond us after that conversation or after that communication, right? So the communication process is ever, remember one thing, a two-way process, not a single way. If a person is talking to himself, that is either called soliloquy or monologue, right? There are two other literary devices, so we will discuss them some other day or in other lecture as well. But today we are concerned only with this language. So language can be of two types. Language, the words or the sentences we convey to other people, and the language is also called as the symbols or some signs, right, which convey some messages to other people. So they are this language skill or language learning is based on 4 listening, reading, speaking and writing skills. This is the receptive set of skills, and this is the productive set of skills. So students, I hope you people might have learned what is language and what is the role of listening, speaking, reading and writing in language learning. So let's end up today's lecture. We will discuss some more things in the next lecture that will also be relevant to in keeping with this language learning, right? So we will share our further views regarding this phenomena. Up till that, Allah Hafiz. We will meet inshallah in our next video. Allah Hafiz.